Let's jump in with this hot topic right now, of course, Egypt. In terms of what this means, we have actually a few different things this covers. As Jim mentioned, political unrest. The idea here with earlier protests 2 weeks ago for Tunisia, we've got Egypt as well since last Tuesday. And as Jim mentioned, this could spread out some other ones. And here's 4 of the countries that many analysts are talking about right now as far as what this could impact. As far as how this impacts on us, on the grain world, and also for oil, I do mention for oil because crude or corn and soybeans are priced into oil through the connection with ethanol as well as soybean oil. As far as the 2 avenues that Egypt does work with oil, they're running about 2.6 of the world's oil goes through Egypt in some way or another throughout the Suez Canal or the Sumed pipeline. So as far as this goes, obviously we do have some concerns on the oil side. As Jim mentioned, new highs, nearbys. We now have crude looking at $100 is what he said. That does give us a chance here, obviously seeing higher prices for corn. I haven't had a chance to convert this out into what exactly this means as far as adding on to our corn upside objectives, but keep in mind this is certainly nothing but bullish for us right now. As far as on the wheat side, we've got some main people running the wheat as far as main wheat importers here as well. Egypt, number 1 in the world, as we talked about. Algeria here next door, number 4 in the country here. And we do have some smaller guys later around here. Of course, Morocco. We've got Sudan here. And interesting to see that as far as Jim, that port closure story he sent out earlier this morning, kind of important for us too. The fact that Egypt has closed its ports right now. So we got some question marks. Is this a big bullish issue or is this a bearish issue for us in grains? And obviously right now the market is clearly saying unrest, higher crude oil is going to be a bigger issue than the questioning of further imports as far as the grain side. So this is certainly a clear upside bullish factors for us right now in the grains. As far as Egypt, also want to point out this is year-to-date sales. Year-to-date right now, comparing last year's sales for our top customers and, of course, this year's. And, of course, you can see Egypt is a big number 2 buyer of our product right now for wheat. So this does impact us for us as far as the direct buying. At this point, it's more of a question mark with how much they actually will be buying or bringing in next few months. But just want to point out this is obviously an important point for us to keep on track of. Also affecting wheat, we do have weather. Here's a chart or a map we've shown in the past here of both the winter wheat crop areas as well as the soft red crop areas. And with weather, we do have quite a big question here. One guy we had this morning, Drew Lerner, says 2 to 6 inches. The other guy we watch here in the office says 1 to 3 inches. And they have moved the area of the intensity east. In other words, from Friday it was covering the entire plains. Right now more eastern-based for both these forecasters. Key issues right now, we do have temps reaching down to minus 15 degrees during this issue here. That's a big problem here for us. And at this point, whether we get the snow enough to cover up the wheat is one question. Second question, of course, do we have this, if we do get by right now with temps, if we can get by right now, and we get a nice mild kind of easing in moisture or in temperatures, we're going to have a little moisture added to the ground. So for right now, this is a bullish issue for us right now, this winter kill question. The other question, though, is if we don't get winter kill, that means we have extra moisture laid out in those plains. So for right now, this is a bullish issue, but we'll kind of have to watch it closely. As far as soft red, Drew says just simply light rains. The other guy we watch says maybe up to an inch for the southern Corn Belt. Keep in mind, all these snows that we're dealing with, these are all northern Corn Belt issues here. So at least for this point, this is not a major problem for us yet on soft red. So as I said, they're getting rains right now instead of major snows. Now going back to that first question we talked about with the winter wheat, we've got some moisture issues here. Obviously we had spring moisture needs, and we've said many times before, if this market gets the rains in spring, we can easily correct these problems on the winter wheat issue here. So at this point, we're talking about 147 million bushels is our estimate of what hangs in the balance, is what we're saying, for the moisture. This is something which is a little farther in advance you're going to hear about in the coming weeks. Not right now. I just want to point you guys out that right now this market is trading on the idea that we have poor winter wheat conditions and we're going to have a lower production. I want to point out that if we do get the rains in spring, we can increase this right now. So as far as this goes, I just want to point out, as far as the effect on wheat, the key issues right now, Egypt is seen as still a positive factor for grains overall. As far as weather, we are looking at positive factor from this winter kill issue. So for right now, net plus for wheat. As far as the corn and soybeans, as we said before, with the higher crude, we do have to be bullish on corn as well as soybeans through its connection with soybean oil. Other issues here. Friday we had a new ethanol number came out for the month of November. And here's some neat little stats. So far, we've got amazing ethanol production, up 19%. USDA says for the entire year, we're going to be only up 7. So we are beating the pants off the USDA's numbers right now. And I'm not talking about small numbers. I'm talking about hundreds of million bushels impact on corn. Based on this report and the fact we've done such a great job early in the year, we're going to up our ethanol production estimate by a full 100 million bushels, and that's conservative. So while we do have some problems with corn on exports, we should see a net drop in ending stocks next month because this ethanol is just kicking the pants off of USDA's hopes. So with that in mind, we're still obviously quite bullish on grains. As far as issues on corn, specifically, as I said before in the conference, we said 675 is the best that our models came up with, and that's not with that with the drop we have talking about with ending stocks. We said psychologically we think this market can hit $7. Based on the higher crude and the new lower ending stocks, we're going to have to up those numbers. They haven't had a chance to work that out, but we're probably looking at a minimum upside now on corn of about 7 to 7.25. We'll have more information when we get a chance to work those out here. Yes. Yes, and those are basis the front month corn. Obviously, you could add the same amount on top of the December new crop.